Happy Sunday, y'all. Happy Sunday. Happy first Sunday of May. It is the first Sunday, right? Yeah. Wow. Wow. It's the first Sunday of May. Hello. I am Shania Lancaster, aka Pinky Hooks. Welcome back, y'all. Y'all know I got a lot to talk about. I can't stop smiling. Like, my little cheeks hurt. My big cheeks hurt. Anyway, I had to give an update. Wanted to share with y'all because I felt like you guys were like, I felt like I had y'all in my backpack with me with my adventure from having my first class yesterday. Wait, before we get into this, if this is your first time stopping by and you are new to my channel, please sit in on this conversation. It's just me giving an update on my little new endeavors. And please, you guys who already subscribed, please hit that like button. Give this a thumbs up. You don't know what I say. Please don't like it if you don't like it, but I want you to like it. Okay? Yeah, so now we got all that. Oh, and yeah, and don't forget to hit subscribe and the little bell button. Right, formalities out of the way. So anyway, yeah, the class was amazing. It was amazing, y'all. I was just like, oh my God. I can't believe I pulled this off. I pulled it off. And it's because of my subscribers that I have. And it was like carrying y'all, like y'all were like a little bunch of Polly Pockets. Yeah, you were. You were like Polly Pockets. I stuffed all y'all little comments and positive vibes. I carried it in my little heart. I carried it in my little pocket. When I say I carried it in my pocket, because y'all was replying on the phone, my phone was in the pocket. I just carried y'all. I carried all of y'all. And y'all kept on commenting throughout the night. I think the last comment that I saw might have been from Bonnie Myers. It was late at night. Sorry, Bonnie. It wasn't that I was ignoring you. I saw it. I was smiling. And I was just like, nah, I'm not going to reply to Bonnie just yet. I'm not replying to anybody else. I just gave y'all little hearts to acknowledge you, to make sure that you guys knew that I acknowledged the fact that you were with me in spirit all day long, because y'all wanted to know, how did it go? Or y'all was like, Shania, break a leg. You're going to be fine. I was just like, I hope so. Anyway, so let's rewind. So let me tell you what happened. So Friday, so I worked from home on Friday, thank God, because I would have been no good in the physical form at my job. Because my mind was on this class. So when I got off of, when I logged off of work on Friday, I noticed I had a text message from the leasing office, and they were asking me, hey, Shine, do you want to come by? Do you want to set up, so that way you're not rushing in the morning, because the leasing office opens up at 10. So that means I can't come in there until 10, and then the class started at 10:30. And I had to keep in mind that you're going to have some people who may want to show up early, right? So I was just like, Shine, yeah, you better take advantage of it. And that was like around like 3 o'clock when they sent that message in the afternoon. They closed at 6. I was just like, okay, yeah, let me hurry up and go out, and because basically what I did not have, now y'all know I got yarn galore. Y'all know that. But I didn't have enough hooks. That was the problem. And I know y'all sitting there like, Shine, we tried to tell you. We was all telling you. Some of us was telling you, like, when you first said you was going to have this class, like, okay, this is where you go, this is where you go. I clearly remember Yarn Barf saying, I don't know, Yarn Barf, what did you tell me? If I need a hooks, did you tell me to go somewhere like, did you tell me to go somewhere, someplace called LYS? And I meant to tell you, I don't know if it was Yarn Barf or Marsh Knitting. It was one of these ladies. I'm pretty sure it was Yarn Barf. Somebody said go to is it LYS or LSY for hooks? And I remember reading that comment when I was at work, and I was thinking to myself, what is that? And I didn't know, and I still don't. And if any of you know what it is, or somebody, please drop a link. Well, y'all can't drop a link because YouTube will be like, and block you. Okay, tell me what it is, so that I can buy my hooks wholesale. Because that was the one thing. Now, yes, I do have a lot of hooks, but being an experienced crocheter now, I would like to think I'm experienced. Or let me put it like this: collecting my inventory over the years. Just like my yarn, as you start to, progress in your skills or whatever, you start buying the quality stuff. And my hooks, now I feel like I'm still one of the only few people on this earth that I still have never bought a Furls crochet hook. Okay. I do know that's one of the more expensive hooks. But I do have a couple of expensive hooks. And I was just like, I'm gonna love my class, but I can't give nobody my expensive hooks. I'm like, that's not gonna happen. Anyway, so I had to hurry up and go out because I think I only had, I think I had a total of 6 J hooks, and I wanted to start them off with J. Well, initially what I was going to do was start them off with I and J, because I knew that I was starting them off with a 4-ply acrylic weight yarn. So if you think about 4-ply acrylic weight yarn, we all know that normally, I would say the 2 most popular hooks that you use, well, really it's 3, but I would say the first 2 that you're going to go to is probably an I or a J. At least that's for me. Some people are the other way. They go for a J or a K. However, I knew K was out because I was just like, no, because that's going to be too big. I want them to learn how to control their gauge, when they're making a chain, and the K was just going to be too big. So I was going to do a mixture of I and J, and then that way, I really didn't have to go out and buy more hooks. But then, because they're all different, I was just like, I'm not saying that my students would have been babies, but you never know with people. I didn't want anybody come in there and get all crazy and be like, well, I wanted a metal, or I wanted a plastic, because it would have been different ones. It would have had long shafts, short handles, or the other way around, short shafts or long handles, or one could have been plastic, one was aluminum. Like, I was just like, Cheyenne, no, you teach in class, just get them all in one accord. So I had to go back out. I had to stop at the leasing office and say, yay, I got to go back out and go get some hooks. That's the problem. So I went to, golly, I think I went to Hobby Lobby, and I had been there earlier that week, and I was kind of hoping that they would have replenished their hooks. It's not that they didn't have hooks. I don't know about you guys, but every time I go into Michael's or Joann's or Hobby Lobby, have y'all ever noticed that the size J hooks and I, those are the 2 main hooks that they are not fully stocked in? You'll find 1 or 2. And you might find more, but they'll be in different brands. Like, how come you don't have a row? Like, how come I don't see a row of J? Like a full row. I'd be like 1 little here, 2 right there. So anyway, I went to Michael's because Hobby Lobby, I think I was the last person that probably exhausted, when I first started thinking about this class. And I wasn't really comfortable because I had bought 1 I and 1 J, and they were plastic hook. It was the Yarnology, which is Hobby Lobby's brand. And I was just like, Cheyenne, don't start them off with plastic hooks. Even though these plastic hooks were not the flimsy plastic hooks, like they were good quality, but I was just like, I don't know. So I went to Michael's, and again, I started going through their little bins, because the way they have their setup is like these, like a plastic bin individuals, like these one-offs, with the little tape around it saying this is $1.99 or $2.49 or whatever. And of course, there was only 1 J hook. I said, are you freaking kidding me? And I was about to leave, and then I said, wait, Shine, just really comb this area. And I found Michael's, their brand of yarn, their brand is Loops and Threads. Loops and Threads actually sells their hooks, their own hooks, which that makes sense. Because now I think about it, most yarn, like if they're really big up in the industry, they sell their own types of hooks. And I had never, for all the times that I go on Michael, I had never seen the Loops and Threads hooks, crochet hooks. I seen the knitting hooks. I knew they had their own knitting hooks, but I had never seen it. I don't know if it's something new, whatever the case. And by the grace of God, there was 5. Now, I had originally 8 people signed up. So there were 5 hooks. I snatched all of them. I was just like, boom. And I went to the desk and checked out. And I didn't keep one to show y'all because they're with the, you know what? Hold that thought. I might actually, yeah, because I had to bring back some bags. And hold on, y'all, hold on. Okay, I'm walking into the living room. Let me see. You know what? I brought back these bags home because that's about to show y'all how many people didn't show up for the class. And not in one of these bags is maybe I didn't buy 5. I don't know how many I bought. I know I bought 5. Something went wrong. Maybe it was 4. You know what? Maybe it was 5. I don't know. Either way, none of these bags got the hook for me to show y'all what I wanted to show y'all. So just imagine the hook would be a cross. It would be like if Susan Boy Hook married Hero. And if you know anything about Hero hooks, if you don't know anything about Hero hooks, go to Bag O' Day channel. That's her favorite crochet hook. She loves that hook. I remember when I first started watching her, she always talked about that. She even told people if anybody got something, because she collects them or whatever. And I'll get back to that because I want to touch upon that. But anyway, if you know, Hero is a very lightweight aluminum hook. It's just, yeah, it's very light. So if you imagine Susan Bates hook married light Hero hooks, that's what the Loops and Thread crochet hook feels like. So I didn't get a chance to work with it. Now I'm curious about it, my doggone self, and I might just go back and pick up one of their other sizes for myself. But anyway, that's what happened. So in other words, I got enough, and then I already had some J hooks. Susan Bates. I'm not a Susan Bates hook fan. The only reason why I still had Susan Bates is because it was the hook that I first started off crocheting with, or when I got back into it, I didn't understand the difference. I did not understand. That's the cool thing, man, about like growing into your art. You really don't know what you don't know until you start to learn, and then you know about different tools and the quality and what your preference is, right? So, and if the students from my class is watching and y'all like, wait, you didn't give us quality? Yes, I gave y'all quality. It's just that right now you're beginning, and so again, this is to teach you the craft, and as you grow, you will decide, you'll start to experiment, and you're going to be like, oh, okay, this hook that Pinky Hooks gave me is really not my favorite, you know. And then you might be like, oh, I love this, what's this name brand, that's all I'm buying. Yeah. So anyway, getting back to the story. Yeah, so I got the hooks, and then I came and set up. I showed y'all the setup before I started recording or whatever. Let me tell y'all something. Friday night, man, I forgot what it feels like when you were a kid and Christmas Eve was the hardest night ever for you to get a peaceful sleep. And when you finally did fall asleep, remember how you will open your eyes, be like, yay, and you look at the clock thinking it's going to at least be 5 o'clock, and you went to bed at like 9:30, and that thing was just like 9:45. Like, that's That's how my Friday night went. I was so nervous, y'all. I was nervous all the way. Like, I could not sleep. I was praying to God, and I felt like God was saying, Shine, you really didn't do a lot of preparation for this class. Like, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Yes, I was anticipating it. It was just like, I knew that I hadn't really prepared for this class. But it was just like, well, Shine, what are you preparing for? You want to teach them the basics first. Everybody got to start off with a chain. And what it was that it wasn't until the last minute that I was just like, wait, I don't know anything about these people. You know, what if I get a whole entire class that's just like, you know, what I was going to say, we know how to do a chain and we want to start working on a project immediately. Like, I couldn't put it together like, okay, yeah, I'm going to say, okay, this is how you make a chain. This is how you make a single crochet stitch. But then I was just like, wait, Cheyenne, look, you're sitting around a conference table, right? It's different. When y'all was just like, Cheyenne, you're going to be fine. You're a good teacher. Thank you, by the way. Thank you. But it's different because you guys are looking at me under a magnifying glass. You're watching it, right? Now I'm sitting at a table in real time with real people. So maybe the people that's sitting on both sides of me can see what I'm doing, right? And even then, they're getting a side view. They're not getting like a bird's eye view like you guys do when I'm doing a tutorial, right? And I was just like, what about the people at the other end of the table? How am I going to do this? When I'm going to walk around with the ball of yarn in my pocket and then had a hook and be like, and basically, that's kind of the way I did it. A little bit, just a little bit. Anyway, yeah, so, yeah, anyway, okay, fast forward. Saturday's here. Whoa! And, again, I woke up early. I was so glad to see the dawn because I was just like, man, if I have to open my eyes one more time and realize it's still not time to get up and I got to go back to sleep, I don't know how this is going to pan out. But, yeah, well, first of all, I did wake up around 4 something in the morning. And I am an avid believer that when I keep waking up at a certain time, whether it's usually going to be between 3 and 4, with my faith, as a believer, I believe that is my time that God wants me to be communicating with him or praying or having quiet time and spending that kind of meditation time with him. And so I had fell asleep and I woke up on the couch and I was just like, you know what? I can't go back to sleep. I was like, let me turn off this TV and get into the word, or have some time. And I was just telling God, like, I'm nervous. I feel like God was just like, you should be, because you really haven't really kind of set out a plan. He probably was saying that. Anyway, but I was just like, okay, God, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I ain't really prepared. Can you help me? Can you help me out, please? So then I fell back asleep around 5, and I was so scared that because I was so exhausted and I didn't have enough sleep, I purposely set my alarm clock for like 8, but I still woke up way before then. I woke up an hour before, and I was like, fine, good enough. I got up, got dressed, and showered and everything, and then I was sitting here like this, just looking. Now, mind you, the leasing office don't open till 10, so they said I could come in at 10, be there when they go to work, and then that way I'm just kind of woosahing and relaxing and kind of getting in the atmosphere, before they start walking through the door. And I was like all nervous, but then I was like hungry. Then I was just like, okay, so I just went, I ate a very, very light breakfast, but I was too scared to drink coffee because coffee for me, y'all, it kind of gets things moving. And I was like, Shine, if you drink this coffee now and then all of a sudden you stand up there at 10:30 and you get the bubble guts, you're going to have a problem. Ugh, everybody gonna be like, I ain't coming back to her class. So I was just scared. That's what I'm saying. I was that nervous, y'all. Like, I was that nervous. I'm sorry. Hold on, y'all. A call is coming in. I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Anyway, yeah, so I just ate a little something, and then finally 10 o'clock gets here, so I go over to the leasing office or whatever, and I did the little video for you guys so that y'all can see the hookup or setup or whatever. And then my first student rolled in early one time, but they was early, I think she got there like at 10:15. And she was like, hello. And I was already sitting at the table, and she came over, and I was just like, damn. In my mind, I was just like, Shani, act like you got some sense. Like you got some home training. Stand up and greet the person. Shake the hand or whatever. It was weird. And I know y'all sitting there looking like, but Shani, look how natural you are now. You know why? Because y'all not here in front of my face. The only person that's looking at me sideways is Ruby. And we all know Ruby, she has me punked anyway. You know what I'm saying? I feel the need to perform right in front of her. But anyway, yeah, so yeah, they rolled in or whatever. She sat down, and I felt like, okay, let me ask her, have you ever crocheted before? Whatever. And I would say about 10 minutes after she got there, here comes the second. You know what I'm saying? So basically, to wrap that part up, 4 people showed up. And by the time the 4th showed up, I was just like, yeah, let's just get started. Because now it's past 10:35. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, I had to make an executive decision. Like, do I just keep waiting? Because I'm telling you, those seats, it was 8 seats available. Those 8 seats were filled by day 2 of the initial release to the community that classes were being held, right? And by day 2, end of day 2, I had 2 more people, since they couldn't get into the May class. I got 2 people already signed up for June. They was just like, dang, I missed this. I'm going to go ahead. And what was crazy was that the leasing office was just like, we put them down for the June class. And it's funny because they were looking at me, because I was just like, wait, I didn't say I was doing a June class, but they're so excited. That's what's making it cool. The leasing office is excited. So they just went ahead. Yeah, they got a little bit of them ahead of themselves. They don't know if I wanted to do a June, but that's okay. I do want to do a June and a July and an August and like eternity until Jesus comes back. So anyway, yeah. So once they got in, basically the way it went, I was just like, Shania, just think, like, what do you do when you get on camera? Introduce yourself. Let them know a little bit about yourself. Find out who they are, And they were good about that. They were like coming in and they was introducing themselves. And as they came in, they was introducing themselves to each other. And I was just like, community, baby, community. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So basically they was helping me out by doing what they were doing. Instead of me saying, I would like everyone to stand up and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself. Because people be like, no, I don't want to stand up. Do I have to stand up? People shy away from that. But these ladies came in, they were positive. You could see that they kind of were like they wasn't really sure what to expect. But that was cool in a gang, brother, because I was just like, hey, we here for the same thing. And I did say, hey, please bear with me. I do have a channel. It's one thing to record, but to be in front of you guys, like, I was like, this is my first class, but this is what I want to do. And I'm here to show you this. And of course, the way it worked was that, I didn't even realize it was flowing. Like, if y'all was like, Sharon, give us step by step, it's like a blur. It basically, what I do know what I covered was I talked about the hooks. I talked about their techniques. And when you are crocheting, when you're first learning, that one of the things, people seem to focus on, they believe that it's hard because they got this instrument in their hands, and then they're trying to figure out, well, how do I hold this instrument? And then what do I do with this hand? Am I holding the yarn? Oh, y'all know what? This is the one thing that none of y'all brought up and thought about to prepare me for, because I didn't think about it. The lady that showed up first, guess what? She's left-handed. And if y'all sitting there like, Cheyenne, what's the problem? The problem is Cheyenne's right-handed. And the problem is that, okay, I've always just shown y'all a tutorial and never really thought about it. I never heard any of my subscribers, not near one of y'all put in the comments when y'all say, great tutorial. I'm left-handed. I guess because you guys already know how to crochet or knit, right? So, and you know, knitting, I don't even know how that works. I guess it doesn't matter whether you're right-handed or left-handed. Anybody there knits? Does that matter? Anyway, but with crocheting, because, you know, you just got one hook or whatever, you know, I never took into consideration about, is there a different way to teach someone who is left-handed? I didn't think about that. And when she said she was left-handed, I was like, uh-oh. Like a little bit of fear, a little bit of, you know, like anxiety creeped up in my little spirit. And I was just like, oh my God. But she kind of looked at me. I don't know, she kind of gauged, and she was just like, she said, I'll get it, you know. And so as I was instructing them, of course, we started off with the chain, and that's pretty much what we did yesterday. That was the only thing we did. Why? Because none of these people, except for one person, one of the young ladies, she told me her story, because I did say, have any of you ever tried, or, you know, and she said that, you know, she's been out of work for a little bit. So she said, I needed something to do while I'm healing. And she was just like, and I was bored. And she said she had just started watching YouTube, trying to practice and learn. So I was just like, perfect, you know. So she was doing extremely, and they all was doing well. They were doing well with their chains. And then the one who was left-handed, I know that I could tell she had a little bit of a rough start. And, you know, as her chains, you know, some chains were like super duper tight, and then other ones were like really, really loose or whatever. But I told them all, don't worry about it. Just keep going. If you want to pull it out, cool. It's no problems or whatever. But I think she might have been the only student that might have pulled it out once or twice. But then after a while, I think she was just like, let me just keep going. And she was doing it. And at first what I had to do was kind of like sit next to her and basically kind of like this, like I was just kind of like showing her from a side angle, you know what I mean? And doing it like that or whatever, so that she could kind of see a front view, but I'm sitting next to her, kind of leaning in, you know what I mean? And literally I was walking around just doing that with all of them. Like, let me see. And I was literally walking around, pulling their chain, like, let me see how your chain is. And then I will find the spots where I'll be like, you see that little spot right here in this area? Perfect. Try to get back to that. So basically that's what they were. And I remember going into the class saying, Shania, this is a 4-week course. You gotta at least teach the chain and a single crochet. But no, I'm just letting it flow. They'll get there, because I told them they have homework. I told them to practice at least 30 minutes every day on their chain. Just practice your own chain, you know? And I am confident. I feel like with their enthusiasm, and they were sincere. I think that when they come in on Saturday, we will spend about, I'll say 10 minutes. I'm going to review their chains. I'm going to have them start a new chain from the very beginning, and then we're going to go right into single crochet. And we have to go into single crochet because the finished product at the end of the 4-week course, they should come out with a finished project. And so because there only 4 showed up, I was just like, okay, what should I pick for them? So I let them pick. And if y'all like, oh, Shiny, that might be disastrous. No, not really, because 2 people said they wanted to do a dishcloth. Okay. So, and then 2 people said they wanted to do a bookmarker, which is what I'm presently sitting here working on, just with a single crochet. Now with a bookmarker, I've done bookmarkers before, and if you guys have made bookmarkers, most of the times well, at least from what I know, my bookmarkers have always been with thread. That guy right there, thread that you make doilies. And I was like, ooh, I didn't think about it until after class was over, and I was like, uh-oh, how am I going to do that? However, there is more sizes in thread. I think this is a thread that they would be able to handle. Let's get up close. I think that's pretty good, right? This is the same thread that I use to make Barb's coaster and placemat for the Pinky Promise. And so I feel confident and that they'll be able, the two ladies that want to make the bookmark, I believe that they can handle it. I know which people they are, and I believe they can handle the bookmark thing. Now, that's why I'm coming to y'all. Like, I've never seen a bookmarker in 4-ply. What do y'all think about that? Like, I'm trying to think, like, how am I going to do that? Now, I got some time to play around with it this week, but yeah, the dishwash or face cloths, I'm not worried about that. But I am worried about the bookmarker. So here we go, folks. Y'all know I come to y'all. I need some advice. I think I'm going to be okay because, like I said, look, this is not your average thin thread. Can y'all see that? Like that, And then I'm starting this. I'm just making like a little swatch. Yeah, and the hook size that I'm using for this is what's that? It's a G. Good. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, so yeah, I got to, they practice and change. Now, again, it was 8 seats. One person did show, a fifth person showed up. She showed up probably like about 25, maybe a half an hour into the thing. She did not stay. I do have to say that I have to appreciate the fact that she actually did come. She said that she thought it was at 11:30 or whatever. And she said, I'm not staying, she said, but I wanted to come by, introduce myself, say sorry. And what I did ask her, because at that point in my mind, I was just like, okay, she wants to come next week. Like, how are we going to do this? And thank God, she says that she has experience. She says she made a blanket one time, but it's all crooked and everything. So it sounds like to me, she wants a refresher. And there are things that she does not know, because she says when she makes blankets, they're always crooked and lopsided and going in and there. And we all know that means she probably has the skills. I would say she has the skills, but she's missing a stitch, because we all know from my previous ones, when I would show y'all and be like, dang it, what happened? It's because she's either missing a stitch or she's increasing a stitch. That's the only way your edges are going to come out all kooky, cocky, crazy looking, or whatever, or it's just starting to go in or come out or something like that. So I think she, I have not seen her crochet or whatever, but the fact that when I tried to give her a bag, and I was just like, okay, because she couldn't stay. She had things that she had to do. So I told her, I said, here's a bag. And she said, no, I have my own yarn and I have my own hooks. So that tells me that, yeah, okay, she can come next week and pick up, right? Like, she'll get to choose her project or whatever, and then she'll be, but the other, so we'll just say the other 3 people, at least 3, really, that never really showed up, and they didn't call the leasing office or whatever. And, I basically have to make a decision, because I cannot hold up the class when they come. And so I think what's going to happen, I had to discuss it with the leasing office, what's going to happen is that they will notify, not just, I don't think those 3 directly, I think they might send out one mass thing and say, hey, if you did not show up for the class, you cannot, you can't come for the rest of the month. Like you gotta sign up for the June classes. And I don't want it to seem mean, but the thing is I was thinking to myself, because at first I wasn't going to say anything, but then I was just like, wait, because if I have people who didn't show up for this class, now you come next week and you have you have no crocheting experience, right? Then that means, remember, the class is only 1 hour. That means I have to hold up, the students that did come, or whatever, or I'm taking time away from them. Like basically I'll be spreading myself too thin, because now I got to sit with people just to go over the whole entire thing, because it wasn't just me saying, okay, you wrap this around the hook and pull through to make a chain. I literally was talking through the whole course. I am walking around. I am giving my stories. I'm listening to them. What do they want? What did they think? What do they expect to get from this course? What would they like to make? What do they see themselves making, once they learn this or whatever. And it was so rewarding to hear, like, hey, one young lady, she said, I really want to come out of this class. I want to know how to make hats and scarves. She said, that's my thing. She said, who doesn't want a nice cowl? She said that, boy, I don't know what my face looked like, but I was just like, oh yeah, Sister Sled, just on and popping. Because see, when somebody says exactly what they imagine they could create, if they learn the skill, that there in itself tells you, like, this is somebody who want to really learn this, and I'm hoping that when they left, that they were like itching. I hope that they got in their cars and was like, let me just go to Hobby Lobby. Let me just go to Michael's, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it went so well, y'all. It went well. And, the young lady at the leasing office, she was just like, she said, are you sad? They didn't show up. Hey, for those people that didn't show up, hey, no problems. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, it's a little disrespectful. Because it's free. But one of my friends has said, well, Shiny, that's the reason why they didn't show up. Because it's free. They're not losing anything. That's true. I took them bags right back on home, baby. And I was just like, bags are already packed. Matter of fact, I got 4. Because that other lady said she got her own skills. So I got 4 already packed. Hook and yarn. And stitch marker already in there. And that'll be for the June class. Yup. So yeah, it was nice. And that hour went by so fast because I looked at the thing and I said, hey y'all, it's 11:26. Class is gonna be over. And they was like, oh, already? Because that time flew. You know what I'm saying? So I am like, I really, really hope. And I told them, just like I told you. So the way I said, every class I will record. I'm going to, maybe I didn't tell y'all this. I'm going to record either that Saturday night or, basically Sunday morning. There will be a video and that will do a recap on what they learned. So that way, since they're not going to see me throughout the week, right? They can come to this channel and be like, okay, let me see it again. Let me practice. Now, I didn't have to record last night. Why? Because I told them to come to this channel and look for one-on-one crochet. Let's teach Alexa how to crochet. Ha ha. You see how all of that? That was a divine alignment. You see how I had to help the young lady in Michael's, and I said, I'm gonna make this video, and it was a beginner's. And then there was some of you that was just like, thank you, Shy, for, making a beginner's. And look, that beginner's video is now serving the class. So I didn't even have to make my first video because they could just go to there because they got it. They got that video to go to. Being that everybody's sitting at home right now just practicing a chain. They're going to come in and have used all 83 yards of the yarn and be like, look, I got a chain. It's going to be so cute. Yeah. Yup. So yeah, so that's how that went. And then after the class, I felt so fulfilled. I did. I was thanking God the whole entire day. I was like, thank you, Lord. Thank you. Thank you. Because I did. I said a prayer before I left my apartment. I was like, Lord, help me. I was serious. I mean, he says you don't have to do no, oh, Father, please, thy Lord, please help me. That's not how he wants you to talk to him. Because he's like, you don't talk to everybody else like that. I mean, yes, you talk to your creator with respect. Don't get it twisted now. You know, I don't be saying, hey, God, what's up? No, I was just showing them. I don't do that. But I do talk to God like he is my father. He is my creator. You know, I'm like, hey, I'm having a bad day. Lord, I don't even know. All right, I know I didn't practice. Can you help me out, please? That's what I said. Yep. And then after that, I was just like, God, I can't believe I did it. Oh, thank you. I did. Yup. Now, what was this something I was supposed to say? Oh, the hooks. So speaking of, let's go back. So we're outside of the class. And then I'll tell y'all. I already told y'all what they want to do. Remember when I was talking about the hero hooks? And I said, if you know anything about the hero hooks, I mean, if you don't know and you follow Crystal on Bagel Day Crochet, she said that's her favorite hook. And it's a vintage hook. And I remember when I used to watch her and I was just like, and she would show it. She'd be like, yeah, because she said that she would like go on eBay. She would go anywhere. She said she would go to, I think, her local garage sales and stuff like that. I mean, it was years ago when I was like, you know, before she got the numbers that she was, and she would always talk about the hooks. But yeah, so this is very special to me because not only did Blair, Barb's husband, like he sent all that, you know, like the majority of her yarn to me and everything, and projects that I have, projects that I would like to finish that she started. Thank God. Thank God. Barb was very organized because she started, when she would do a project, if she stopped and it became a whip, she would literally take the instructions, it'd be in laminate. She would place it in a Ziploc bag with that project with the hook. And so basically, I remember pulling out one of her blankets and I was just like, oh man, she didn't finish this. I thought I was going to have to really study her stitches and try to figure out the stitches that she was using. I was like, oh no. And then when I took the blanket all the way out, I was just like, oh, there's the instructions. There's a hook. Like, she was super organized. So now that makes me like, I'm like, okay, I can literally finish what she started. So there's like, I think I got like about 5 projects to do that she started and she just never finished. But anyway, after I got through all of like the bags, there was one particular bag, like I was just like, I had to go down to the bottom, like I was pulling, it's like the yarn that she had already used, and I saw a case, and here it is. This case has all, except for one, all hero hooks. I had never seen a hero hook before. It has different size. They are heroes. They're heroes. It looks, I mean, if you look at the case, it looks like the original case. And when I opened it, first of all, I was like freaking out because I realized that I was holding something that she used. I mean, she had other little new hooks, you know, like the hooks with the lights on them and everything. And I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, and it is a real, I don't know if y'all can see that the light, it does say hero. I know y'all probably can't see it. It is a real hero hook, as all of these in here. And I remember when I saw this and I opened it and I touched it and I held it and I cried because I was just like, I'm holding a tool that she used to create. And it was something that just really went through me and I could not believe that, and just like when I told you I was using this to kind of do a swatch of a bookmarker, this is also that another one of the hero hooks that came out, and I was just like, and I decided to do the swatch in the pink, and I in my mind, I know I'm like a big kid, y'all, but in my mind, I feel like I feel like how a kid feels when they're trying to be their superhero, the superhero that they look up. They put on a cape, and that cape, they really believe that they have their superhero's powers, the mentor, the person they look up to, And I feel like that when I hold one of her hooks. Like when I was doing it this morning, I was just like, oh my God, like I feel like my hand is over hers or hers is over mine, and I'm doing the motion. I was just like, because when I used to watch Crystal's channel, I used to think to myself, you know what? If I ever, this is back in the day before I even started my YouTube channel, I used to say, if I ever find hero hooks, I'm just going to gift them to her. Because she would always say, if y'all have it, I'll buy it from y'all. And I thought she was so generous. And I was like, nah, I'm just going to give it to her. But Crystal, I don't think she watches my channel. But I'm going to tell her anyway. Just in case because I heard that she doesn't like come out. I heard that she might look at people's channels, but it'd be on a down low. But anyway, Chris, if you see this, I'm sorry. If you know the story about my friend Barb, there's no way. I will never, ever part with these hooks. And even if they weren't heroes or whatever, I don't care if they were some plastic hooks. I will never part with these until Jesus comes back, and then I don't have a choice but to leave behind what my earthly possessions. Anyway, yeah. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. And like when I went to go grab it this morning, I am amazed that now I can touch things and I can pick up her yarn, and now just the smiles come, I had a hard time before, like when I would touch stuff and I would get teary-eyed, and I didn't want to, at some point I had to stop myself because I feel like I might have been bombarded Blair too much, her husband, and I didn't want him to think like, oh my God, this lady won't call me all the time or text me all the time crying. And eventually, and it's just amazing how the healing process works, and yeah, I don't want to go off into that, but I just want to share that with y'all. I'm looking around because I could have sworn something else I was supposed to tell y'all. I told y'all about how the thing went, and then whatever, blah, 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 blah. And I am working on, do I have it? I am working on a project with some of the yarn that, Barb, left me or whatever. My first project man, I just can't even stop myself. It's going to be a tunic. I mean, a shirt, an adult size shirt made out of this yarn. I hope I got enough left because, I'm a thick girl, so I need a little bit more. It's 100% polyester. Some of you actually got this in different colors. This color I did not share with anybody because I was in love with it too much, and you may not be able to see it. It's peach and mint green. Let me see. Okay, that's better? Yeah. It's like cream, peach, and mint green. This thing is so freaking soft, and it's gonna look really good on my complexion. Yeah, it is. But anyway, yeah, I'm working on that. I'm super excited. This is breathable for the summer. Can't wait to show y'all that. I do have a couple of y'all who was just like, I think Sally Stevens was one. She was like, I would love to see one of these toddler shirts or whatever, like in an adult size. And I've had a couple other people that was just like, Shine, can you do something in adult size? Yeah, I can. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say, y'all. I want to tell y'all how that class went. Thank y'all so much for supporting me. Y'all are lovely. 2 women, 2 of the ladies out of the 4, I know subscribe. And the other 2 may have subscribed, but they might be private and don't know it. But 2 of them did subscribe publicly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Andrea. Thank you, Janet, for subscribing to my channel. And I really am so excited to have you in the class. I want you guys to enjoy and embrace this process. You know what I'm saying? Even if you just be like, I only got one stitch that I really like. Let me tell you something. There are people who, I have one stitch that I always go to. That's a half double crochet. Now I do other stitches, but I love half double crochet. I don't know why. It's so freaking easy to me. I flow with that. I love it, love it, love it, love it. You know what I'm saying? But I've created many things just with one stitch. So don't be intimidated and be like, dang, I only know one stitch. That's okay. You'd be surprised what you could do with one stitch. Yep. And you come to the right place, because everybody on my channel will tell you welcome, and they are rooting for you ladies or whatever. So yeah, I just wanted to tell y'all that. I can't wait to see y'all next week. So anyway, family, Pinky Hooks group, remember, leave in a comment. There's two things I need to know. Number one, what is this LYS thing where I can go get hooks for like a group discount, or if I say I'm a teaching a class or something that I know Yarn Barf did say. What is that? Because I need to, because I actually, after the class, I had to go and buy, I told them that if they lost their hook, they are responsible for replacing the hook. I can't keep buying hooks. I mean, like, if it's your first class, so they understand that, right? They don't ever have to worry about yarn. I will always supply the yarn. I have more than enough. But I did tell them. But once they told me what they wanted to create, I was just like, oh, I had to go and buy more hooks, because the hooks I gave them, that's not going to work for what they're trying to create. Okay, the two that want to do dishcloths, that's cotton thread, but it's a particular kind of cotton, and I purposely have worked with a J hook using the cotton thread that I'm going to be giving to them, and it's too loose because the hook is too big. No, so I had to go down. I mean, I had these hook size, but these are hooks that I use, and I was just like, okay. I mean, it was cheap. It was cheap, but what I'm saying is, I was like, oh, Shine, you didn't think about that. Oh, you know. So, and then the other two who are doing the bookmark, for them, I had to buy those hook sizes to accommodate this. Oh, so that goes, the second thing I need for y'all to say is, do y'all think I could, what do y'all think? That I can mess around with a 4-ply for a bookmarker? I mean, I'm going to do it today, but what do y'all think about that? Anyway, I think that's everything. I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys have been the best. And I'm so happy. I'm like thrilled. This has been such a great experience. I'm enjoying every minute of it. So, yep. Anyway, y'all take care. And Ruby says hi. She already settled down. And yeah, that's it. So, till next time. Peace out, homies. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.